Okay, so this is where we left off last time, and we are now ready to go and do 112, 113, 104, 108, 107, go through all of the bulk of the Greenview story. I might split this up a couple times just so people can go through bit by bit and try to see what I'm picking up in each house, how I'm going through different houses. I don't claim to have the single most efficient routing through a house. There's probably things I could do to improve, but I do have pretty consistent in what I'm picking up to meet the various money and XP goals throughout the game. So you're going to break the window, and it tells you to open a standard training lock, but you can just open this lock instead. And this is RNG, and the police do come pretty quickly. So what I do is I run in, break the painting, just go out. If the police are here, you're going to want to go out the other side, which I'll show you. You're going to want to go out this side instead. Climb over the fence, and just run away from the cops. Because if they tase you, it's pretty much run over. And then you're just going to want to run off whatever edge you can. If the police aren't out in front, you just run straight out the front and just book it as quickly as you can to any edge, to whatever edge is closest to wherever you come out. I generally will come back here and sell off all of my stuff before going to 113.
Fix it with a crowbar.
Now we're going to go to 113. So those two times that we just got caught were unavoidable. You cannot avoid having the police called from those two missions. But throughout the rest of this, they pretty much can be avoided for the most part. It's kind of RNG for pedestrians, but just being careful is kind of key there. Because if the police get called too much, they'll start actively patrolling the neighborhood, and that's not good. So we're just going to go into 113. I start by breaking the toilet, and then I'm not going to describe everything I grab, but I'm going to try and go a little slower than I do in like the speedruns, so people can actively see what I grab. I don't really have a whole lot to say while I do this, so I might go a little quiet during these particular parts. Just so I can let my muscle memory kick in. One thing to note is you might see me crouching a lot. Crouching actually can make it a lot easier to pick up certain items. So I will tend to crouch to attempt to pick up items just to make it easier on myself. Okay, so like there, I could have very easily gotten caught by a pedestrian just due to bad RNG with him being there. So I had to hide from him for a minute to let his suspicion go down. The best way to handle the throwing the items in the back of the car is literally just to throw them through the door and get them in the car. I'm not super good at it. It's something I recently discovered, and so I'm still working on it. So come to the pawn shop, sell everything, and we'll go do 104. Figuring out menuing is also one of the big time saves in this run, because if you're not very good at the menuing, you can end up in the wrong location a lot. Which, every time you go to the wrong location, wastes a handful of seconds. So, you want to back up the car and get it just on the stairs, and I got too close there, as you can tell, because the police got called. In a run, I would probably reset, but since we're just doing a kind of walkthrough, I'll just go back and try again. it is very easy to end up too close to 102, 104. So you do have to kind of get a sense for where the cutoff is in those areas. But you just have to kind of back up until you hit the stairs. And then you can get out. You want to make sure you open your trunk before running up here and just go in the house. 104 can be very reset heavy if you get unlucky. Because what can happen is, what I think is about to happen, is a pedestrian can come and not know how to get around your vehicle. Yeah. So, see that pedestrian down there? See that exclamation mark? That means that my car is preventing that pedestrian from walking, which means the police are going to get called if I don't go move my car. So what I'm going to do, just for sake of time, is hope I can get my car out of the way before they call the cops. Okay, good. Normally I wouldn't bother and I'd just try to run through here as quickly as possible. But because I'm trying to go a little slower, kind of have to. Grab the money, grab the phone, you know, just kind of grab all this stuff. And then in here, usually when you get here, she's going to be right. The person that's still home, the tenant for this house, is going to be down in the kitchen below us. So you're going to have to kind of crouch every once in a while to keep her from hearing you. In this case, because we're getting here later than normal, she's in the bedroom. And that's all you have to do in 104. When you open the garage door, it makes a lot of noise, so you do want to make sure that before you open it, she's not already suspicious that somebody's there. But other than that, there's not a whole lot to worry about in that house other than your car getting discovered. So drive off, go to the pawn shop, and we're just going to sell everything.
Greenview 108 spends way too much time in front of the
So
TV.
I am going to end this part, and in the next part we're going to do 108, 107, and then end Greenview with 102, 101, and